Lonely there on the outside, Peter. But okay, well, we'll find out why. Kande Yunkela, so why do you think that Fukushima, in your view, isn't enough to stop us using nuclear power? Because there are those people who are really worried that actually it's a clear sign.
Fukushima simply tells us to rethink the energy architecture of the world. It is one major incident. It is a game changer. However, if we are talking about energy access, I think all technologies must be on the table. Countries will choose their technologies. We cannot begin to eliminate. We should do it safer. We should decarbonize it. It should be green as much as we can, but we should not begin at this stage when others need energy access to begin to rule out technologies.
So keep nuclear power, but with some kind of guarantees or modifications or
yes, ma'am.
That kind of thing. Well, Peter, why do you think categorically? I mean, let me just ask you this, though, probably. You were never for nuclear power, regardless of Fukushima or anything else. Is that the case?
Well, I know that nuclear power is on its way out. It's a dead-end technology that's actually declining in use worldwide. Between 2000 and 2010, the total use of nuclear power has been declining. There's less nuclear power generated than 10 years ago, before Fukushima. So globally, we actually have fewer reactors coming online than reactors die of old age. So if you don't do anything else, just build the ones under construction, there won't be any left in 40 years from now.
But you want to get rid of them. I mean, Germany, obviously recently has said all nuclear power in Germany is going to stop by 2022. It's
not a commercial technology. There's no country in the world that does it in the market. It's all centrally planned, government-backed, publicly financed technology, and it's actually barring people from access.
So is Dipuo Peters, South Africa Energy Minister, where they are building nuclear, they have nuclear power, they're wrong? They want to expand their nuclear power?
I think you need to distinguish between Dipuo and Minister Peters, because as a government official, she will give you one line, but as a human being, she'll probably give you another.
Go on then.
No.
Is that true?
It's not true.
You're doing her speaking on her behalf.
I just want to indicate, if I have to come in at this particular moment, I just want to indicate that South Africa actually finalized its integrated resource plan 5 days after Fukushima. And we believed that that would also be one of the lessons that we will take into consideration in determining the technology, in determining the engineering designs. But we're also saying there's a lot that is happening in the world today since the process of commemorating 25th year of Chernobyl, but also looking at the other nuclear accidents that have happened.
But you look around, you look at Fukushima, you remember Chernobyl, and you say we've got Africa's only nuclear power plant. Is it just outside Cape Town, isn't it?
Yes.
Supplies what, 4% of South Africa's
about 4%
electricity?
Of our electricity.
Your electricity, and you want to expand it, and we're not taking any notice of what's going on in places like Japan?
Let me explain. South Africa is a fast industrializing country, and you would realize that our industries are energy intense. And as we speak, we cannot rely only on renewables. We needed something to buttress renewables, so as to make sure that there is something that is actually equal to the coal base load that we are busy reducing. So we need to be able to be really
But you're committed
realistic.
to nuclear power. You're not even thinking of abandoning it. No, you're expanding your use of it.
No, we are expanding.
As a human being and as a minister.
We are bringing in 9,600 megawatts.
Is he going to convince you by the end of this discussion?
I hope so, I hope so.
Yeah, well, do your best. You're sitting next to her, so you might have a chance to persuade her. Sri Kumar, India, obviously, completely committed to nuclear power.
No, let me tell you that I'm not talking on behalf of Department of Atomic Energy or Indian government. Let me just talk as a human being. So as a human being, as I see in our country, a population exceeding 1 billion, and nearly 40% of that population do not have any access to electricity. And to the country which has a tradition of using renewable, not now, for centuries. So what's the imperative? Why we have to grow this energy? See, question is that in today's world, if you are unable to provide just the very simple and basic necessity of providing electricity, you are actually not giving a quality of normal human life to them.
We all accept that. We all accept that, Sri Kumar.
Now
but the question
yes,
really
I'll
is,
come to that.
Should nuclear power be one of the ways you provide it?
Now the next point. Next point is that can we afford to lose any form of energy? I would say that it is impossible today. Actually, humanity has neglected the issue of energy as such for years, for decades, because always we have been thinking that there's plenty of energy. This is a kind of a myth. There's a myth that there'll be some kind of a miracle that will happen, and we'll find that very many ways we'll get energy.
So keep it to help those who genuinely
we must have all forms of plus.
Okay, can I just put this to Peter? So Peter, what would you say to Sri Kumar? It's all very well for rich, affluent Germans to say, and with all your commitment and money to invest in other sources of energy, to say, nuclear energy, it's just a luxury, we don't need it. But you've heard what he has to say. I mean, what would you say to those poor Indians who don't have any electricity?
Well, I would say to my friend Sri Kumar, isn't it a good idea that with an advanced technological culture, with a deep understanding of global connections and industries, that we should choose the most advanced technologies and not those that are already 60 years old and dying off. And secondly, why would we want to string an electric wire from a central nuclear power plant somewhere to each of the poor households? Why can't we adopt a distributed?
I think what you touched upon...
Don't get too technical now.
No, I'm sorry, too many syllables in my words.
What you touched upon is a very important point. First of all, energy to be classified into two classes. One we call distributed form of energy. The other we can put it as what is available in the electric grid energy. It's not too much of a technical term. But the question of, see, when you are talking of supplying just a 60-watt bulb in a home, distributed form of energy is suitable. The moment you talk of industrial growth, or you talk of urbanization, or you talk of agriculture where you need a huge quantity of energy, their distributed form of energy alone is not sufficient. You must have centralized or grid energy. And nuclear energy is a more suitable. There, I think, one more factor to be taken. You see, I would say, just 1 minute you give me.
But a minute is too much. Let's just see, so you're sticking to your guns there.
No, I'm not sticking to the guns.
That you do need nuclear energy, and the problems at Fukushima have not given you second thoughts.
No. It has given second thoughts.
Has given you second thoughts.
Yes, of course it has.
But you're not giving it up.
Yes.
All right. Let's go to the audience, because we have the Minister of Energy from Jordan.